Hola muchachas, buenas tardes. Es que soy la profesora López aquí para darles a ustedes unos feedback en cuanto a las conversaciones orales para el capítulo 1. So here's some feedback for your oral conversations that you've done so far for chapter 1. This includes the alphabet, el alfabeto español, saludos, right? You did some greetings. And you talked about lo que hay en tu escritorio, right? Using classroom vocabulary. So feedback on these 3 assignments right now. First thing I want to talk about with the alphabet is overall y'all did a fantastic job with that. The vowels though, the 5 vowels in Spanish, los vocales, the 5 vowels are the same as the 5 vowels in English. Although it's super important that you understand how they sound because they're the foundation of your pronunciation in Spanish. And the good news is that while the vowels in English have 2 different sounds, we have long vowels and short vowels like apple and ant. In Spanish, they only make 1 sound, and that's the only sound they make forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So here are the vocales. So the letter A is pronounced ah, like ah, interesting. The letter E is pronounced like eh, must be the money, like that song. The letter I is pronounced like eek, I saw a mouse. The letter O is pronounced like oh, wow, okay? And the letter U is pronounced like ooh, gross. Ew, gross, right? So this is what they sound like. A, E, O, U. A, E, O, U. Okay, those are the foundations. Now, we want to look over here. Let me get onto my screen. These are the difficult letters. So as I was listening to your oral conversations and y'all were saying the alphabet for me in Spanish, these were the few letters that presented some challenges for some people in class. The first one is the letter G. The letter G is pronounced like hey. Okay, just like what you have over here. Like when I put it into the little barras there, the little slash marks, that's how it's pronounced phonetically. So that's how it would look like in English. So the word hey. That's how we say the letter G. Hey. The letter H is pronounced H. H. That H is actually silent. The very first H is silent because the letter H is silent in Spanish, okay? And that's one thing I want you to understand. These are the letters of the alphabet. These are not the sounds that the letters make. These are just the names of the letters. For example, in the English alphabet, we have the letter B. That's the name, B. But the sound it makes is B. B. So you've just learned the names, okay? But the letter H, the sound it makes is nothing. It's silent. So when you say the name of the letter, it's H. You have to put it in like that first H isn't there. The letter I we already talked about with the vowels. The J is Jota, right? Jota. And the letter J sounds like an H. And you can remember that, like a lot of your pronunciation can be taken from a menu at a Mexican restaurant when you go to a Mexican restaurant. So for example, you guys don't order fajitas, and if you'd like them spicy, you don't order them with jalapenos, right? We know that we order fajitas with jalapenos. So we know that the J sounds like an H, okay? The letter Y sounds like ye. That's the name of it, ye. And the letter Z is just, the letter Z sounds like an S. So instead of zeta, it's zeta, okay? Which is why the letter Z in Spanish really sounds like an S. So words like beer, cerveza, and the last name Lopez, it all sounds like an S because there's no Z sound in Spanish, okay? All right, let me go back over here. Now here's the frases. So when you were doing the saludos, be careful when you say me llamo, when you're telling me your name. Don't say me llamo es Jennifer. We don't need the S. That's redundant. Me llamo Jennifer literally means I call myself Jennifer. However, there is another way to say my name in Spanish. I can say mi nombre es Jennifer. And then we do use the S, because in that case we're saying my name is. And so we need the is. We need the S. So just be careful. Whichever one you choose, don't combine them. It's either me llamo Jennifer or mi nombre es Jennifer. Also, when you're saying where you're from, just say soy de Carolina del Norte. Soy de. That means I am from. We don't need to put question words back into our answers. So when you answer the question, ¿de dónde eres?, you don't need to put donde in your answer. Donde means where. If I asked you in English, where are you from, you don't put where in your answer. Okay? When talking about things that are in the escritorio, a lot of you use the verb tener, which is fine because tener means to have, but technically we haven't learned it yet. What the book is introducing for you here is the verb I. Again, remember that H is silent. So it's really pronounced I, like your eyeball, I. And it translates to there is or there are. So what you can do is just using the word I, you can tell me what is there in your desk. So I can say, hay 3 lápices en mi escritorio. There are 3 pencils in my desk. Okay? Remember, if you make the objects 3, like lápiz, you have to make that plural. So 3 pencils becomes lápices, right? We have to make that plural. If I want to say something isn't, there isn't something on my desk, then you put the no before the verb I. No always comes before the verb, which sounds different. It's very strange compared to English, but you put the no first. So you're going to say, no hay una pizarra en mi escritorio. And that basically translates to there is not a blackboard on my desk, right? And again, when looking at pizarra, make sure you use the right gender. So it needs to be una pizarra. So pay attention to that gender, masculine, feminine, and that number, singular and plural. All right? All right, muchachos. Ciao, ciao.